Okay guys, welcome back to the channel. So today we have the brand new Ping Glide 4.0 wedges in store. Mike, it's been a while since we've seen some new cavity back wedges from Ping.
Yeah, it's nice to have a refresh of Ping too. It's been kind of out of stock for the last couple months, so fresh wedges for the fitting matrix. I'm excited.
Definitely. Not many companies offering the cavity back option in a, call it a tour preferred shape.
Yeah.
And we know that's a big story with Glide 4.0 is the refinements of the shapes, the transitions, trying to get it in the hands of every golfer, right? Not trying to take a specific type of golfer away from using this particular wedge.
Yeah, we saw a wide range of handicaps get fit into Glide 3.0. It was super popular for us. So, you know, the shape is a classic, and just, again, excited to have it in the bays. It's just been super popular for us.
Definitely. Ping have one of the longer sort of product cycles in our industry. So we do see maybe interest wane a little bit towards the end, and 3.0 had been out for quite some time because of supply chain issues, obviously due to product shortages with COVID. So towards the end, I mean, we weren't really doing much 3.0 anymore. There were other wedges that people were interested in. So I think it is an exciting time to get a new refresh on this particular product in the hands of our customers and start to offer them some of the kind of technical benefits in the 4.0.
Absolutely, and your take to the cavity back, there are some other ones out there that just don't have that as clean as profile or a tour preferred profile to the wedge.
Yeah, I mean, you've got obviously the Glide Forge Pro, which is what's played on tour for the most part. But this is going to offer another option to tour players, to handicap golfers up and down the country. So we're going to actually put those two against one another. So while we're going to do a review, obviously, of Glide 4.0 today, we do want to talk a little bit about the benefits of a cavity back wedge, or a wedge with the sort of design characteristics of a cavity back, and obviously a pure blade like the Pro. Okay, we'll talk through some of the technical improvements as we go, but why don't we get you hitting some openers with this one, Mikey? We'll get you hitting some with the 4.0 here.
For sure.
All right, Mikey, let's start with some little partials. 50 yards, we all know you gravitate towards a 60 every time you can, but I've been trying to get you to use a 56 more in this type of shot. So yep. You have the 4.0, which has 2 degrees more bounce on the S grind than the Forge Pro has. It has 10. 4 different soles this year. We have the S, the T, the W, and the E. So obviously offering lots of versatility within the range. Better. Nicer strike there. Lovely. That was nice. Go in. Oh, Michael.
Robbed.
There's a lovely little strike there just below the centre.
Yeah.
That's why you're the wedge guru. You play this shot in quite an interesting way. You rip across it like a bunker shot.
Yeah.
Hit kind of down and across it. You do get a decent amount of spin, but you also get a bit more launch than some people might get. Any reason you play it that way?
For a 50-yard shot, I've always thought just to hit it a little bit higher. And I know we did a video on this recently, almost hitting these types of shots a bit lower, spinning a bit more. But for me, just hitting it higher, I like to see it go up in the air a bit, and kind of let gravity do a little bit of the work. But that's kind of how I've always hit a 50-yard or a 60-yard shot. And
what's your initial impression on the feel, on the kind of looks?
I mean, compared to all the wedges on the market that we've tested, this if it feels classic like the Glides have in the past. It looks great. It has that hydro pearl finish, which is, you know, a benefit that not many wedges have. So first couple shots felt really good. No, nothing against them, that's for sure.
Yeah, they have a brand new material, 8620 steel being used with the new 4.0s. Trying to move towards that premium feel, a little bit of a softer feel off the wedges, which I think will be appreciated by people who like a wedge like yourself.
Yeah.
Moving in towards, you know, the same materials like the Vokeys, that type of thing. So you'll be much for the connoisseur. I think the average golfer might not notice that that's happened. But if you've tested wedges over the years, you will notice a slightly softer feel with this one.
Yeah, I feel like they've lessened that clicky sound to it. It sounds and performs like a, like that premium tour wedge. But again, like we talked about earlier, the amount of forgiveness on it is impressive.
Yeah, there's if we flip the wedge into the back of it, we'll see the new the new activated elastomer weight cartridge that sits in the back.
Yeah.
Much bigger this year, much
Definitely.
more, much larger to try and get a little bit of a deeper cavity into there. So obviously that's something that's variable depending on whether we're using a gap wedge or a lob wedge.
For sure.
Which is very, very important as well, just projecting a slightly different center of gravity on the wedges. But yeah, really, really nice job with these.
Yeah, it's impressive.
Right, let's hit some comparable ones with the Glide Forge Pro. All right, Mikey, we're going to stay at our 50-yard shot. We're going to hit some blade shots with the blade wedge now, the Forge Pro. I mean, when we saw it and when we saw Glide 3.0 versus the Pro, obviously there was a massive difference in head profile, and obviously most people would lean towards the Forge Pro. Now there's a much smaller difference between them.
Yeah. I mean, when this Forge Pro came out, just shape-wise, very small.
Yeah.
Very rounded as well. But I mean, it looks amazing. If these were sitting in your bag, I mean, you'd definitely stop and take a look at them, that's for sure.
Definitely. Okay, let's hit a few with this one, see if we can see any noticeable differences. We have the same loft, we have 2 degrees less bounce.
Yeah, same grind.
Yeah. Got a chance. Oof. Just out here delivering a clinic. How does it feel to be this good of a wedge player?
I just do it for the viewers,
Okay.
Charitable donation. The line's off.
Just feathered. That's lovely. I mean, pretty much an ideal little comparison there. Let's look into our standard deviations. I mean, I think fair to say you struck the Forge Pro with more precision. That would reflect in the standard deviations all being a little bit tighter.
Yeah.
Could be a bounce and sole design that you're much more used to. That it's much more of your style of wedge.
Yeah,
Fair?
I mean, I would say the grind is the same. That 2 degrees of bounce, if I'm being really picky, this sits a little bit tighter to the ground for me, more underneath the ball, versus the 4.0 looked a little higher up. So definitely have more freedom to kind of play certain shots with Glide Forge Pro for my game anyways.
When we look at the club data, and obviously the beauty of using foresight technology when we're identifying strike location is we can establish the right point on the wedge face which we want to hit it in order to achieve the right launch conditions. Where you've hit that second wedge, the Forge Pro, is exactly where we would like that to be. Just in that kind of lower groove 2, groove 3 sort of area, that is where we're going to establish a little bit more spin from. It's exactly where we would want it to be.
Yeah.
Very, very good. Okay, so not much of a difference in terms of the ball speed. Launch angle is the same. Strike location established about 500 RPMs more in the spin with the Forge Pro. Really all we can say about that.
Definitely.
Let's hit some full shots. What's your number when it comes to your wedge?
100 yards for 56?
Okay, 100 yards. It seems like a bit of a stretch for me that you'd hit it that far, but let's give it a try. Shocker.
Oh, 100 yards.
Hey, do you like leaving yourself a 18-footer up the hill? Good. Okay, Mikey, let's grab the Glide 4.0.
Feels really good. I like it.
All right, Mikey, quite good to do a little full shot test with this as well. I mean, this is how we would do exactly in the wedge fit. We'd hit some partials. When we get into the sand and lob wedges, we'd hit some full shots, look at your distance and what we're able to see. I think this is a perfect way maybe to sum up why someone might want a blade versus someone might want a cavity back. We're seeing a little bit of that in the PGA Tour right now with players who are selecting more of the cavity back style for their approach wedges. It comes down to proximity, doesn't it? It comes down to trying to obviously get a little bit closer to the hole, around your target yardage. You know, 95 is where we set our pin today. Obviously, we held our line a little bit better. Standard deviation was a little bit lower in spin, which is really nice. Similar in carry. Yeah, impressed with what the cavity offered you in the full shots and what the blade offered you in the partial shots. I think that might be what people can take from their selection process when you want to pick one over the other.
Totally. I think the nice thing for me hitting the full shots, a little bit of confidence knowing there's some help behind this, but in a really sleek package. I feel like maybe a bit more freedom to swing harder at it than I did with the Pro. Yep. Obviously, the Pro just feels like or looks like, you know, it's got that blade mentality in the back of your mind. So definitely impressed with the 4.0.
Very, very impressive. Okay. Looking forward to getting these in the store. There'll be a nice addition to our demo matrix. I mean, I feel like the wedge conversation in the early part of 2022 has been very SM9 driven. It always is generally because Titleist does dominate that market. But I do see us doing a lot of business with the Glide 4.0.
Yeah, I mean, again, this will fit in for a lot of customers. It's, you know, especially gapping with irons, you know, those higher lofted, you know, 50, 52, whatever it might be, having that cavity back to kind of match with sets, I think will be an impressive one.
Talk to me a little bit about the specs on the shaft and the grip there.
Yeah, just a ZZ115. It's actually made by Nippon.
Yeah.
Pretty good stock shaft. This has been around for quite some time.
Feels quite nice as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, and then the grip's just the Lambkin Crossline 360. A little bit longer. Ping has that longer grip. I actually quite like the one with the chevrons. Kind of gives you the wedge
Hand
matrix
position,
style.
yep.
So yeah, no, I mean, great product for, you know, for off the shelf even.
Definitely. We like wedge shafts, guys, to be a little bit on the softer, a little bit on the heavier side. So most players will be in around that 90 to 105 gram iron weight range, the iron shaft weight range. So 115 is a really nice complement to those types of weights in your irons. But anything outside of that, whether you need it lighter or heavier, obviously do what's right and get custom fit for it. All right, stay tuned for more. We will see you again soon.